And
All right,
and
guys.
no,
Thank you
you
so much
said
for
it.
watching.
You said it right, Fernando. Great job.
Thank you so much. And we'll have subtitles here for you guys to learn. Bye for now.
You all
Hi,
right?
hello, welcome to another episode of The War on. Okay, I'm gonna edit this part.
Okay.
Hi,
Okay, we're
hello,
gonna
welcome
start
to
our show
another
now.
episode of.
You good? Okay. Hey, come on. Come on. Come on. What, Fernando,
All right.
let's go.
Hi, hello, and welcome to another episode of The War on China. Today, I'm joined once more by Mr. Mario Cavolo. Mario, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. I heard you were going to speak
I
some
like.
Chinese. I heard. Yeah, tell me. Say it.
But later.
Yeah, I
No,
heard
look, we're
something
gonna
about
start with a
you.
very
So
short story.
I'm wearing this to honor you.
I'm honored, but you guys are gonna have to wait until the end to hear me speak Chinese. Okay, we're gonna start with a little tidbit, right? A little story about this Reuters media. They were taking photos of the athletes during the Olympics, and these are the photos that they chose. The interesting thing is that, well, if you know anything about photography, they take thousands of photos of every event, but these are the ones that they decided to show. And you may wonder why. Why does Reuters do something like this? Well, it so happens to be that the director of Reuters is Miss Dawn Scalisi, and she was a CIA officer for 33 years. So maybe that has something to do about that. What do you think, Mario?
Fernando, hey everybody, how you doing? Great to see all of you with us. Look, what are the facts that we all know? From when I was a kid, okay, we were in the 70s watching Wide World of Sports. Remember? ABC's Wide World of Sports with the skiing guy going down and crashing. I mean, it was amazing. But everybody knows that in sporting events reported on throughout the world, the media always uses great photographs. Everybody knows. The media uses. And this year is the first year, and they're doing it for the Olympics, and they're intentionally using the off shots, the bad shots, the ugly shots when it comes.
There's no other explanation.
This is beyond.
Right.
This is what these people do. Go.
Well, today's topic is going to be the Delta variant. So I know that you have some really important information that you wanted to share with us about the Delta variant. So I'll give you the floor.
Turn it to me, Fernando. Thank you very much, everybody. We are the experts, and we are angry. I got to tell you, to be honest with you, I'm particularly angry today. You know what it is? I'm feeling irritated. And the reason I feel irritated is because I woke up this morning, I wasn't feeling well. You're just off, right? Like feel like you're like hungover, but you didn't drink. You just don't feel well. I felt a little nauseous. I felt a little dizzy. I had a nice cup of coffee, and I still didn't feel that well, right? Wake up, get a little bit sprightly, and wake up and happy. By the way, at noontime, I was interviewed by the largest, oldest, most famous media in Hong Kong, Pa Kung Pao. And so I was honored to do that today at about 10:30 in the morning. And it was wonderful. We're going to do a follow-up interview next week. So, life is beautiful for myself. And I want to say for lots of people out there, but not for everybody, huh? People got problems. Okay. And I wasn't feeling well. So I feel irritated. Okay. And it makes this kind of crap, like what you just mentioned, Fernando, it makes it even all the more irritating. And before I go into, I found a golden, beautiful, crystal clear explanation of what's happening with Delta and vaccines. And I don't want any misinformation and disinformation. We want to share with you clear information. I'm going to take a few minutes to do that, maybe 5 minutes. And so that's what Fernando mentioned. I'm going to do that. Before I do, though, the things that I'm irritated about, okay, like this thing with Reuters. I mean, it's just ridiculous, okay? Former CIA officer running Reuters, and they're using bad pictures to show China in the Olympics. I mean, how low down on the curb, how low can you go with this kind of crap, okay? Which leads me directly to Mike Pompeo, former Secretary of State. Ooh. He sent out a tweet. You got it? He sent out a tweet.
Yeah.
What's his tweet? We admire the Chinese people, but loathe their oppressor. Mike Pompeo, I want to ask you a question. Do you respect one of the most revered and old and legendary top level Ivy League universities in the whole wide world that is an American university? Do you? Do you admire and respect and believe in them? Harvard University? Of course you do. You're a diehard American. You're a diehard American to the point where you're delusional. Your own university, Harvard, did a study showing that this country on planet Earth with more satisfied citizens than any other country, and the only other country was Singapore, okay, which is this big, like this tiny big, okay, a country of 1.4 billion people, and this is an American study by the University Harvard, okay, showing nobody in the world has such a high, no country in the world has such a high satisfaction level than China. China, spell it China. It's the largest, safe, stable, successful, and capable country on the planet, Mike Pompeo. So when you write loathe the oppressor, I'm confused. I'm just like, hey, Johnny, what's he talking about? I don't understand. Give me a break. What's wrong with this guy? Huh? Next.
Next is Miss Sophie Richardson
with HRW. Sophie asks a question. She wants to know whether or not McDonald's has done her due diligence on Tibet with respect to human rights before they opened their first store in Tibet. And I answered her, yes, Miss Richardson. Yes, McDonald's did do their due diligence. And in doing their due diligence, which a frickin' 10-year-old can do, not you and Ken Roth, who runs Human Rights Watch, you people, he's paid $600,000 a year. That's your boss's salary at Human Rights Watch for being a charity. Weird. You guys are running a charity and getting paid that much. I don't know how much you're getting paid, but I know how much your colleague boss Ken Roth is getting paid. Now, I'm confused because if you are wondering about human rights problems in Tibet, how is it that a 10-year-old can do better than you? Because a 10-year-old can go on YouTube, okay, and find, and I did a tweet, Fernando, it's below. I put a series of links. Ladies and gentlemen, I did a history of Tibet metadata research study. I should qualify for a frickin' Pulitzer Prize. I did it. You know how long it took me to do a metadata research study to find out what really was going on in Tibet? It took me about 3 minutes. A frickin' 10-year-old could do it. You go to YouTube, okay, and you just type in what really happened in Tibet. And you get like a bunch of links, including, follow me on this, a link of a documentary by another famous American institution, National Geographic, clearly pointing out that the Tibetans were like slaves, dog slaves in feudal slavery owned by their feudal lords, and that China freed them from that. Yes, Sophie, McDonald's knows this history, and that's why they were happy to open a new McDonald's in Tibet. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm done.
But this is what happens. I mean, there's so much misinformation out there with regards to Tibet, with regards to Tiananmen, with regards to Hong Kong, with regards to everything. And, well, this is a funny one that we just learned. We learned that Sky News Australia has been banned for 7 days for spreading misinformation about COVID. So this should bring us back to the topic of COVID, right? I mean, think about this. If YouTube can do a better job at vetting what information is being given to you people out there, then that makes you wonder about these editorial boards and what decisions they make when they show you what they show you. So Mario, onto this particular email that you've found.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, very, very important. Let me. I had my fun.
Mario.
I gave my soliloquy. I had my fun. Now let's go to serious conversation. Let's be crystal clear about the latest with respect to the Delta variant and vaccines. It's very, very important. And you're getting huge amounts of misinformation. I don't want you to get that. Now, I happen to receive a beautiful email. I read, one of these email newsletters, and I read this beautiful email newsletter. It's from The Atlantic. Now, some of you don't like The Atlantic, or some of you do like The Atlantic, but overall, I get a lot of good information from The Atlantic. You might not like their politics, but I get a lot of good, clear information. And they did this really nice review, and I want to go through this with you. Okay, so what is really going on with Delta? I want to walk you through the key things you need to know. Look, from the very beginning, I said from my original article that became famous back in February 2020, something's not right here, folks. Go to LinkedIn and read it. I'd noted even back then, when the pandemic began, what the doctors were saying, which is that COVID was quite contagious. Okay, everybody knows what the word contagious means. Another word is transmissible, meaning, and there's a ratio in what's it called, the RH factor or something, where, if you have it, you have a tendency to give it to, 1.6 other people or 2.7 other people. And COVID, compared to typical annual flu bugs, was shown to be quite contagious, quite nasty, quite transmissible. And now what we have with Delta is and flu viruses mutate. This is, flu viruses, coronaviruses, they mutate. This is new too. This has nothing to do with politics. It doesn't matter whether you're liberal or conservative or love Biden or hate Trump. I don't care. Flu viruses and coronaviruses mutate as they go through people, through the population, okay? And the Delta variant has two characteristics that we're very interested in. Characteristic number one, it's even more contagious. And this is what we know. Delta is much more contagious, much more transmissible, okay? Now, it also seems to be causing less death. It seems to also have a lower death rate. The statistics are showing this as well. Okay, good. The variant is more transmissible than previous strains of the coronavirus. And by the way, they're comparing it to chickenpox. Because when you were a kid, you never understood. I got chickenpox when I was a kid. Chickenpox, the thing about chickenpox, it causes those itchy bumps all over you. But for most kids, you recover. But the thing about chickenpox is, if one kid in the class gets chickenpox, man, everybody in the freaking school gets it. I mean, chickenpox is really, really contagious. And that's the problem, okay? Fortunately, chickenpox not so deadly. All right. So, well, fortunately, neither is Delta. Again, Delta's bad, but it seems that it's less deadly than as it's mutated. Okay. So that's the main thing about Delta that I wanted to say to you. Now, the second thing about it that people are getting so confused, and I can't understand why. So please, no more confusion. Okay. Vaccines. Okay. Folks, a vaccine is, how do we say? If there's a really potentially nasty bug in the world, okay, like measles, okay, then as a kid, they give the vaccine to everybody. I mean, our son, he was born, he's a beautiful boy, he's 10 years old now. He was born here in China, just like in America, they were like, yeah, they put him on the vaccine schedule. He was born, and I think, I don't know, 6 months, he got his first vaccine, and then a year, and then a year and a half. I don't remember. He got 3 or 4 vaccines. He has his little vaccine book, right? We all have this. And in order to be able to go to school, you got your little vaccine book, fine. All right. Why? Because measles is very, very bad. It's worse than the average annual flu. The average annual flu, I never got a flu virus vaccine in all my adult life. Okay. How many of you? I'm curious. Put it in comments. All my adult life, folks, I'm admitting to all of you now, I never got a flu virus vaccine. Every year they say, get your flu shot. They call it the flu shot, right? My mother, my father, everybody's like, you're going to get your flu shot? I never, as an adult, while I was living in America and I moved here to China, they have flu shots here too. I never got a flu shot. Okay. And about 10 years ago, I caught the flu. And I was out like a dog, man. I was down for 10, 12 days. I was on double antibiotics and I was feeling like a dog. It was bad. It was really, really bad. Happened to me in the early mid-2000s while I was living in Hainan Island, Sanya, Hainan Island. So I got nailed with the flu one season, okay? You don't wish it on anybody, okay? I got family members who caught COVID, and they were like, I've never been so sick in my life. Thank God they didn't die, okay? So these are the realities. Why do we need vaccines when a particular virus is worse than acceptable? So the annual flu bug, get your flu shot. Why? Because it's a good idea. It boosts your immune system. But it kills 20 to 80,000 people a year in the United States, about 300,000 worldwide. That's the numbers of your annual flu season. You with me? Now, this one is obviously much worse. Nobody needs an explanation beyond that, okay? This one has killed so far, and it's still going, 600,000 in the United States. That's like a lot higher than 20 to 80,000 last time I checked. Am I bad with math? And worldwide, same story. We're over 4 million, but it's not gone yet. So obviously, this virus is worse. Okay? Why are we in a hurry to create a vaccine and encourage people to get a vaccine? What, you need a further explanation than what I just said? This virus has a much higher death rate. And for people who even survive it, there's people who got some damage to their bodies, more longer-term symptoms and damage to their bodies. It's simple. I said this a year and a half ago in my very first article about it. It's a nasty virus. Get your damn vaccine, okay? Oh, but if I get the vaccine, I'm not supporting Donald Trump. What? I don't, it has nothing to do with politics. It's pure numbers, ladies and gentlemen. The average annual flu kills 20 to 80,000. This mother has already killed 600,000. Well, there's some people who died of the flu, who died of COVID, who didn't really die of COVID, but they put it on the paper that they died of COVID. So the numbers are skewed. It might be 10%, maybe 15%, maybe 20% of cases are people who didn't die of COVID. They died of something else, and COVID caused them to die when they caught it. That's normal. Okay, let's say you're right. Fine. Okay, let's say 20% of the cases, okay, which would be really high, didn't actually die of COVID. They died of getting hit by a bus, and they tested positive for COVID, and the hospital put COVID because they wanted to get the extra money from the government if it was a COVID patient. Let's say that that's true. Fine. Okay, I agree. I admit it. It's true. Let's say 20% of COVID cases, that's what happened. Okay, so 600,000 people did not die of COVID. Only 500,000 died of COVID. You see, it's still a lot higher than the average annual flu. It's like 6 times higher, 10 times higher. This lovely little factoid is indisputable. Okay, so that's the only reason why anyone is telling you to get vaccinated. No other reason. Like measles. You do not want to get measles, man. You don't want to get it. So I'm sure everybody's got my point. Now, when you get a vaccine, breakthrough cases also appear more common. This is really getting this part is so bad. And this is the Washington Post and the New York Times fear mongering about vaccines. Okay, 125,000 people who've gotten vaccinated have gotten the Delta virus. It's broken through. Okay, so if you get vaccinated, you can still get it, folks. 100. That's point. They lead with that as the headline, and they delete. Remember, along the way I teach you media PR skills. They want to mess with your head. They generalize, delete, or distort. Okay, in this case, they delete. So they lead with the lead. The lead is 125,000 cases of COVID for people who are already vaccinated. Therefore, the vaccine doesn't seem to work that well. And frickin' Tucker Carlson, he said that. He actually said that. Apparently the vaccine doesn't work that well. Really? Mm-hmm. It's 0.08%. 164 million people in the United States did get the vaccine. None of them are getting it. The vaccine works.
99% of the people that are getting it are not vaccinated.
Thank you. This is exactly the point. So who are these monsters who are fear-mongering with the media. All right. This is the media who's fear mongering these numbers. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know why they're doing it. If you get the vaccine, it's like getting the annual flu shot. Any doctor would, I don't want you to misunderstand. I'm not saying it's the flu. I'm saying any doctor would tell you, if you get your annual flu shot, Mario, you still might get you still might catch the flu. It's not 100%. Any doctor would tell you that. It doesn't matter if they're a doctor on CNN or Fox News or China Daily. It makes no difference what country the doctor's from. Ask any doctor, hey doc, should I get a flu shot? And the doctor say, it'd be a good idea. Doesn't mean 100% you're not going to get the flu, but it would be a good idea. And if you do get the flu, this is the key. They always tell you it does boost your immune system, and your body will do a better job of fighting it, even if you get it. Isn't that beautiful?
It's true it's true of any vaccine. It's true of any vaccine.
Thank you, Fernando, right? Thank you, Fernando, for wrapping up the point. That's the point. That's true for this vaccine as well.
To complement what you just mentioned, and to make matters worse about the situation in America, you still have people out there thinking that this is nothing to worry about, that this Delta variant, which is much more transmissible, is nothing to worry about. So you got Lollapalooza. Okay, cool. So thousands and thousands of people all together partying and just probably spreading it like wildfire. It's so bad that it's actually even gotten here to China. We're still seeing situations taking place in different parts of China because somebody went to a touristy place, they went back to their hometowns, and now it's spread a little bit more into different cities here in China. So we are so aware of how transmissible this is, and we are taking all the steps to, well, take care after each other and ourselves. But in the States, nothing. You know what's even worse? There's a little bit more of news that I want to share with you guys. This, just yesterday or at the end of last month, there was a moratorium on evictions that expired. This means that 6.4 million people who are late on paying their rent could be evicted, or must have already been evicted, or evictions must have already started. That's 6.4 million people that are going to be out on the streets, homeless. And to make matters worse, well, you read this thing about the mayor of LA saying that he has criminalized homelessness in LA. We all know that LA has a very serious problem with homelessness, but if you combine these two factors, 6.4 million people being thrown out into the streets because they can't pay rent because of the COVID problems. Now, if you're in LA and that's one of your situations, you might end up in prison. You might end up making weapons for Raytheon and from Martin Lockheed for 23 cents an hour. It's looking very good. Open up for the 1% in America. That's right. Well, look, Mario, I want to do something today that's a little bit unique, a little bit different. So I want to ask everybody to stop watching this video right now. If you look in the chat, you will see that there is a link to a video. I want you to click on that link and it will take you to Mario Cavolo's channel to see the second part of this video. Also, if you're watching a replay, what you could do is go into the description of this video, click that link, and you will see the second part. So do that right now.